So I think why people are so interested in this is because it speaks to a much larger cultural issue. We are seeing the Me Too movement literally die. It's taking its last gasping breaths, but it is about to be dead. So essentially what happened is Justin Baldoni purchased the rights to the book, It Ends With Us. He is the producer, director, and one of the lead actors in it. And when he brought on Blake Lively to play his partner, the co-lead, in a movie that is a very heavy topic about domestic violence, she took over every single aspect of the movie. The movie was really aimed at, providing education and insight and relating to the stories of what women go through when they experience DV. She made it a lighthearted thing. She wanted to talk about, wear your florals, and she used it as an opportunity to promote her alcohol brand, which is insane because many people know that alcoholism really fuels DV as well. So it was completely tone deaf. And as a response to this, she was getting a lot of hate. In fact, people were posting old interviews of her that weren't even really relevant at all to the movie, but they're just highlighting this is a mean girl. This isn't a good person. And in response to this, what she did was she created a smear campaign against Baldoni, stating that actually he was making a smear campaign against her. And that's the reason why she had all of this negative backlash.
What have you seen from the text messages? Like, what has been revealed?
So essentially, in her complaint, she said things like he walked in on her breastfeeding. She said things like he chastised her for her weight. All of this has been debunked by the text messages provided by Baldoni. She, in fact, messaged him saying, hey, I'm breastfeeding right now, but come into my trailer. Let's go ahead and run some lines.
I saw it.
One of the other conditions, she said, we need to have an intimacy coordinator on set because I'm not comfortable with being close with you because you're doing all these inappropriate things. He provided a text message showing, hey, I have an intimacy coordinator. I'll get you on a call with her. No, I'm fine, thank you. I don't need to meet with the intimacy coordinator. So essentially, every single thing that she's claimed against him has been disproved.
So he was a class act throughout the entire process?
Yes.
That's what it seemed.
Wow.
And he put her on as an executive producer, which, and mind you, Pat, this guy's like he's a male feminist, which is probably one of his biggest problems.
He
loves
male
women.
Feminist?
He's a male feminist. He's loves
guilty.
women. He's cares. Guilty. He's doing all this. And so
the judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request.
And the court said no.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss. Are her lawyers
Blake
dumb?
Lively thought she could outsmart the legal system with Hollywood power and CIA-level PR. She was wrong. What happens when an A-list star's ego collides with federal court? A disaster so spectacular, it's rewriting the rules of celebrity downfall. Blake Lively's composure shattered in court as Judge Louis Lyman played leaked audio exposing her scheming. Witnesses described her whispering frantically to lawyers, visibly shaking as her legal strategy imploded. The audio, which Blake tried to bury, proved her direct role in Justin Baldoni's blacklisting.
They didn't record the show.
It is so clear Blake's case is falling apart. She's destroying her cred. Ryan Reynolds too. I see a bully a bully attacking somebody. The bully being Blake Lively and her powerful lawyers. And thank goodness Justin's got support to be able to fight back this time.
You don't want to believe that execs at the very tippity top are being essentially threatened or bullied or coerced or extorted and by a couple like Ryan and Blake or like Taylor Swift, right? Your lawyers are stupid. It's like he's like being nice here. He's like, your lawyers are really stupid.
Absurd subpoena requests for Baldoni's 2.5 years of texts, cheap data, and medical records backfired instantly. The judge called them psychopathic and overly intrusive, mocking her attempt to turn the courtroom into a surveillance operation. Blake's meltdown wasn't just embarrassing, it was a public admission of guilt. Judge Lyman didn't just reject Blake's subpoenas, he eviscerated them. Why demand records from 2022 when your case alleges wrongdoing starting in 2024? He asked. The request was so illogical, Lyman accused her team of lacking basic legal competence. Blake's lawyers spun the loss as a win, claiming they'd narrowed the scope. But the judge approved only 4 months of records, not years. Legal experts called it a historic humiliation, proving Blake's case was built on delusion, not evidence. Blake demanded Baldoni's privacy be violated while crying victim about her subpoena sought his therapist visits and Uber receipts, details irrelevant to her defamation claims, the hypocrisy. Blake's lawsuits accused Baldoni of invading her privacy.
Justin Baldoni universe, a judge is allowing the internet to join court.
Not entirely for the whole court case, but for this Thursday, we'll be sharing live audio, not video, just audio of what goes down.
Blake Lively obtained all of these text messages through subpoena. Okay, what's subpoena? You can only issue a subpoena if you have an open legal case. So you have to have a valid legal case. I can't just issue a subpoena to, the New York Times.
The judge highlighted this contradiction, asking why sue over privacy breaches while orchestrating one. Blake had no answer. Her legal strategy wasn't just flawed, it was self-incriminating. The courtroom's live audio feed on March 6th exposed Blake's legal blunders to the world. No PR spin, no edited leaks, just raw, unfiltered failure. Listeners heard Blake's lawyers stammer as Judge Lyman dismantled their arguments. The feed trended globally, with clips of Blake's team getting roasted going viral. Memes dubbed her Hollywood Karen, and even SNL parodied the Meltdown. For an image-obsessed star, this was a bombshell leak from WME CEO Ari Emanuel confirmed Blake and Ryan Reynolds pressured him to blacklist Baldoni. Emanuel called Baldoni Baloney on tape, mocking his career while admitting, "I fired him for Blake and Ryan."
The judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request for 2.5 years worth of every message that Justin Baldoni and Justin Heath and the PR agents have ever sent to everybody, plus location data. We knew that was going to happen. We have to distinguish between the two, what a standard court protective order is and what Blake Lively's team is asking for, which is an attorney's eyes only designation. You are not able to hold a logical thought, but guess what? I, as a judge, I am able to hold a logical thought. So we're going to slap that down. You obviously cannot do that.
So I can't just issue a subpoena to, the New York Times.
But they weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds. This was their strategy. And now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle. The genie likes to be free, okay?
The audio, secretly recorded after the official podcast mysteriously vanished, proved Blake's victim narrative was a lie. Baldoni's firing wasn't coincidence. It was sabotage. Blake hired Nick Shapiro, a former CIA disinformation expert behind the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up, to manipulate media narratives. His first move? A New York Times hit piece smearing Baldoni as unstable. The timing was suspicious. Shapiro's tactics, gaslighting, smearing critics, mirrored CIA ops. Why does an actress need a spy to handle PR? Because the truth was too damning to face. Hours after Shapiro's hiring, the Times published a Baldoni takedown. The article, filled with anonymous sources, accused him of on-set tantrums, claims Baldoni's team called fabricated.
It just blows my mind how dumb Blake Lively's team is, and how just, I guess, egocentric, maniacal that she thinks that she can tell the world, you didn't see what you actually saw with your eyes. It's insane.
Recent filing, we can now see that Ryan was panicked in general.
I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
But instead of admitting defeat, taking the L, and moving on with some dignity.
Blake says she's so glad they did, but now she wants all other footage to not come forward. And we're supposed to be like, yeah, you go, girl. Are her lawyers dumb? Like, what's happening? Why do they keep making these mistakes and fumbling the ball like this? You did that. You destroyed this man's life rather than wait.
I mean, that first subpoena, as you pointed out when we talked on our prior show, it was massively overbroad. It basically asked for everything under the sun. And it was crazy. And it was never going to get granted in full. So I'm surprised they didn't back off and try to do a little more tailored at the beginning.
The judge makes a point of like, well, then why do you need 2 years worth? In her own suit, she alleges this campaign started in August. So why the reach for 2.5 years? It was nice to see the judge really sort of acknowledge that. Here, this is the part I'm looking. This is the audio Blake and Ryan's agent seemingly didn't want you to hear.
I wonder if you could tell us about a little bit of a mess that I gather you've been involved in.
Oh yeah. I know where you're going with this one.
Do you have notes on it?
Oh yeah. Those are the two things I said to myself.
So he fired him. I'm a ride or die. That's why he did it. Because he basically said, okay, fine. Yeah, Ryan and Blake, I'm going to go with you. So you did that. You destroyed this man's life rather than wait.
Bad situation that Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. And
it's an effed up situation. Whatever, Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. Whatever, he's your client. What a scumbag you are.
Fans noted the Times' history of pushing narratives for elites. Blake's desperation was clear. When facts fail, deploy propaganda. Judge Lyman's ruling wasn't just a loss, it was a blueprint for Blake's incompetence. He called her subpoenas disproportionate, comparing them to FBI overreach. Legal analysts said the wording was a career-ending indictment of her tactics. Blake's demand for Baldoni's 2019 emails? Denied. Jeep's tracking? Denied. The judge left her with scraps. 4 months of texts? None implicating Baldoni. 0 A-listers defended Blake, Taylor Swift, Gigi Hadid, even Ryan Reynolds ghosted her. Insiders say stars fear association with her toxic reputation. Radio stations quietly pulled her music. Brands paused partnerships. In Hollywood, loyalty dies with relevance, and Blake's was gone. Ryan Reynolds, usually a social media maestro, vanished during Blake's meltdown. Sources say he's panicked, consulting lawyers to distance himself.
How is it possible that one individual can work behind the scenes to influence the minds, the hearts and minds of those with influence in the industry to potentially squash another individual such as a Justin Baldoni?
Podcast didn't get recorded. Neither the audio nor the YouTube video, both just miraculously didn't get recorded.
They didn't record the show.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have hired former CIA agents with a proven track record of lying to the public, gaslighting the public. They just sort of take out, smear, and destroy the reputations of people that they don't like, or people perhaps that their clients don't like. But the question is, who do they do that on behalf of?
His absence speaks volumes. If even her husband won't defend her, why should anyone else? Baldoni's legal team is preparing a countersuit, citing the leaked Emanuel tape as proof of career sabotage. If he wins, Blake faces millions in damages and industry exile. His case is straightforward. Blake weaponized her power to destroy his reputation. The evidence? Her own words. TMZ reported witnesses fear testifying against Blake, citing retaliation risks. One insider said, "She'll ruin anyone who crosses her." The irony? Blake claims she's the victim of bullying, yet Hollywood is too scared to speak against her. Candace Owens eviscerated Blake and Ryan on her show, calling them entitled elites who abuse power. "This isn't feminism, it's fascism," she said. Owens' segment went viral, with Hollywood Karen trending alongside clips of Blake's courtroom rage.
But this is an actual headline right now in Variety. It reads that Blake Lively hires CIA alum for crisis PR in legal battle with Justin Baldoni. And I can just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth. And you'll do what I say. Remember, a massive part of the CIA's job, really the most important part of the CIA's job, is managing public relations, because we, the people, wouldn't agree to go to war unless they sold that idea to us. They need a crisis.
You're despicable and a massive hypocrite. Is this truly a win for Justin and a loss for Blake?
Absolutely a win for Justin, and you're absolutely right, Andy, in your interpretation of the document. What they said is basically, they told you to go, you have to go meet and confer, and to even come up with more narrow requests.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
Is anyone else seeing the gaslighting from Blake and Ryan, constantly trying to just wave things that we've seen with our own minds and pretend like they didn't happen? She thinks this is okay, and like proudly displaying us, we're women, so we can just lie and cheat and steal our way in to control these big movies. I mean, how disturbing is this to you? Blake Lively is caught in old footage, revealing that yes, her secret plan is to always take control of the movies and lie to the directors.
Memes compared Blake to a suburban mom screaming at Starbucks baristas. One viral edit showed her courtroom meltdown set to Curb Your Enthusiasm music. The internet crowned her Queen Karen of Hollywood, a title far from her curated girl boss image. Judge Lyman asked Blake's team, if the alleged smear began in 2024, why subpoena 2022 data? Their silence confirmed the truth. This was a fishing expedition, not a legal strategy. The question shredded Blake's credibility. Even her lawyers couldn't defend the indefensible. Nick Shapiro's playbook, rewrite reality. He spun Blake's courtroom loss as a procedural win, claiming the judge validated her claims. Fact checkers roasted the spin. The Washington Post called it CIA-level delusion. The Emanuel tape didn't just expose Blake, it revealed Hollywood's dark underbelly. Blacklist on whims, careers die over petty feuds. Blake's mistake? Getting caught. Now, the industry sees her as a liability, not a player.
And no amount of I'm sorry's will ever undo it. Hurt people hurt people.
It's like, it was a really strange position to be in, because I felt like, I don't want to just like be an actor. Like I want to, you know, I want to have more authorship.
I'm not afraid of this, man. You are a bozo and you look like a clown here. Now, some could say you're showing your loyalty, but no, I think it's gonna really actually hurt you in the end. And this is gonna be tar in your face. You're gonna regret this one. And I think that's why you wanted this audio not to actually get released.
Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho.
Blake's team leaked fake victory statements to TMZ. Outlets ignored them. Even Gossip King Perez Hilton said, "She's lying. When TMZ won't bite, you've lost the narrative." The scandal mirrors political cover-ups. Elites using spies, media, and money to bury truths. Blake's CIA hire blurred lines between Hollywood and DC corruption. Fans called it a deep state takeover. With Blake as the villain, Blake's reputation is ashes. Her legal fees top $2 a month. Baldoni's countersuit looms. Hollywood's verdict, she's radioactive. No roles, no allies, no comeback. Just a meme and a cautionary tale. Blake Lively's downfall isn't tragic, it's karmic. She abused power, lied under oath, and hired spies to hide it. The result? A legacy of hypocrisy exposed by her own arrogance. In Hollywood, you can buy PR, manipulate media, and bully rivals until the system bites back. Blake's story isn't over, but her reign is. The question now, who's next?
They went and met her and they said they were going to get rid of the request to the extent it said all documents related to blank, and they just wanted the phone records. And the court said no. The court said that could include therapists, doctors, friends, colleagues, business people. It's way too broad.
There's a lot of this sort of like Blake complaining that they're evading the privacy. They're doing all this. But then meanwhile, right, she's on Saturday Night Live with Ryan making jokes, hitting back. I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
Because that's what she has told people in interviews. She's opened up about the fact that she struggles for equality, all of the struggles that she faces on behalf of trying to stand up as a woman.